back to offense. Um, Bowie, receiver, he actually made a few plays here and there in a season where we didn't have a whole lot of play. Let's see here. Smith Brown. Now, Jalen Henderson's a name that I think he's going to get a medical red shirt, but I don't know that you keep him.
No, I don't
He
think
was,
so.
yeah, he was a big name. I mean, if you can keep him at a bargain price, maybe you keep him because he was a tremendous runner, but I don't think he grasped the offense. Um, let's see here. Jeff Weimer.
Oh,
That's
I
a rough one. I'd love to have him another year.
he's not. Yeah, we're not going to be able to. We're not going to keep him. There's other. Here's the thing, though. Just as far as attitude, work ethic, he's a keeper. But they're going to get a guy with a little bit more athleticism, a little bit more
Yeah.
speed,
Well, he's been, if nothing else, I'd love to keep him as a possession receiver because he's got great hands.
or special
He,
teams.
yeah. Well, he finds, well, funny you should mention that. I'm going to give Weimer a couple of extra. He reminded me a lot of Steve Largent. You got to go in the Wayback Machine to find that
Oh,
name. Yeah, I get extra points for that one. But great possession receiver, finds the open spot, and he actually gets decent yards after the catch. So, in good hands. But you mentioned special teams. We're losing a legend in Preston Fox. There's a guy who's
oh,
been incredibly reliable.
you got to take your coonskin cap off.
Yeah, that
Just scratches at your buckskin right here. Like, oh man, that's tough.
Grayson Barnes was another guy that I thought, you know what?
Yeah,
But he's might have a shot at a medical
yeah.
red shirt with him too. Um, I'm going to throw Nico in here because I don't think he's going to stay.
Talk about
Now,
the rumor. Talk about the rumor. Let's hear, guys. Chat. There was a rumor, and Eric brought this up that Pitt offered Nico something like $4 million to play for him, and if he turned that down, he is like in the Mountaineer Hall of Fame because that takes a hell of a you know moral character to turn down that kind of money, even as to play for the Pitt Panthers. Uh, you could give me $4 million and $1 million of it in fuel perks at get and go, and I'd still tell you no.
yeah, I don't know how true that is. We talked about that earlier. The notion that that's probably clickbait. But Nico is someone who is recognized, and I think he's going to have a lot of offers. The thing that you don't know, at least I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of people who do. Uh, Nico looked incredibly slow in this offense. Now he looked like a better runner in previous years. So was it a matter that he had an injury that was holding him back and preventing him from being a better player because he did get surgery,
He
or is it
gained
just a
some weight.
matter?
He gained some
There you
weight.
go.
He had that dad bod. It looked like me 5 years ago when I took my shirt off at the beach. It's like, is that a swan floaty toy? It's all Shane. This is all Shane. No floaty toy. It's me.
So there's our quarterback situation, and Nico is a big question mark, but because you haven't heard anything about him, but I'm pretty sure he's gone. He's going to have a lot of people knocking on his door, and I'm not sure he's the right quarterback for us. That being said, his character, he is definitely. I would take his character on anywhere. He's very intelligent young man. Uh, has everything. Just his foot speed looked really not what we could use. The last one I'm going to mention is our punter, Ollie Straw. Go back to the Pitt game. You mentioned this.
Yeah. He he saved that game. I was sitting in the corner there and I could see the ball came. He tapped it down with his hand, caught it with this hand, and then booted it. It was so seamless. It was no one really brought it up or noticed. I think someone brought it up later, much later. It saved the game. The ball would have went out the
Absolutely.
end zone. That kick went exactly where it needed to go, pinned him down, flipped the field, and the Mountaineers were able to, hang around.
Shane, and I think you just nailed it. It was such an athletic looking play that it was just the kind of thing that it was easy to dismiss because he made it look effortless. But yeah, definitely would have been a safety, and we would have had to kick the ball off from our own 20, or not 20. But in any case, he's probably there's a handful of people you could attribute that win to. He's one of them.
Yeah,
So
that was the one call that no one really made. Like I didn't hear it when I watched it back. It was fantastic, guys. Watch it back, guys, if you see it. Yep.
it's on the highlights. It's been on a number of the highlights. So one of the things I was going to mention is that our whole offensive line. I mean, I've got 2, 3. I pretty much our entire starting offensive line is moving on.
Yeah,
And
that's good because we need, it's like you move into a nicer house, you need nicer appliances. You don't go buy the cheapest fridge if you're in $1 million house. You're buying a Viking, Frigidaire, something like that. You're cooking with gas. You got 3 stoves or 3 ovens. I mean, that's where we're at, guys. We're not getting a little teeny narrow college fridge anymore. We're in the Frigidaires. We're in the freaking Vikings. We're getting the real deal industrial shit to get it done. And Curtis D316, we talked about that beginning of the show. Peyton Falzone, what a great name. I mean, every pizza joint is going to name a calzone called the Peyton Calzone, if he becomes a Mountaineer. Just think of that. That's fantastic. You got your own calzone. Eric, do you have a calzone named after you or anything?
no, I don't even. Not even a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
No, I don't. No. That's crazy.
So the offensive line, losing all of them, I mean, that's going to get a lot of reaction from folks. It's going to be good and bad. I know that's where we had probably our biggest problems because, we just couldn't run the ball consistently. Problem is you're starting from scratch again. So the notion that we're getting Kevin Brown, that is huge. And that's one of those building pieces we were talking about earlier, because once you get somebody of that caliber coming in, other guys who are of similar caliber will want to join up too.
Like Deron Parks, the in-state guy. If they can get him out of Nitro.
And where was he signed? Where was he committed to?
Florida State. Yeah.
That's a good get. So yeah, offensive linemen, running backs. I know we got Jaheim coming back. We've got Ty coming back. We've got some good guys coming back, I think, because I think we'll be able to keep them all. But that's one where I think, we mentioned we got that speed back. That's going to be a huge piece. This quarterback you're talking about, Calzone.
Yeah.
He's another guy that you need to come here because, look, to me, Scotty's our future, but you need somebody who's going to push him and challenge him. And like you said, Jarrett Brown, we had to play Rutgers last game of the season. Pat White missed, I think, the only game of his career against Rutgers. And if you don't have Jarrett Brown, I don't think you win that game, and you don't go.
You win the Big East that year, that's for sure.
Exactly. And it was a BCS bowl game we got to go because of that win.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we're building up on the receivers, which reminds me, let's talk about the Cam thing. Do you want to talk about that?
Now, if you're a coach, Eric, do you keep that guy based off him being a dickhead, or do you just kind of like maybe get some talent around him, and if he acts like a fool? I mean, when you're doing an NIL negotiation, that has to be brought up. Like, listen, I'm paying premium. I'm going to pay premium dollars for guys that give premium effort. And unless you give effort on all plays, then, you're not going to be making what guys that give premium effort get. Just saying.
So I'm there with you, but I'm going to throw out some things. I'm not into defending people for doing stupid things, but people do stupid things, especially young men. Believe it or not, I'm going to talk basketball just a second. John Beilein almost quit coaching men's basketball at the collegiate level prematurely. And when asked, he said, because young men make bad decisions. And you know what? He's right. He was right. Uh, Cam is a sophomore this year. That doesn't excuse his behavior. But if it was the kind of thing, it'd be much worse if he was a senior. His behavior is something that, like you said, it's knucklehead behavior, but it's not a violation. It's not where he broke a law. And it's definitely the kind of thing. When he got back to the sideline, he heard about it. He also got sat down on the bench. So to me, you take some actions, you take some disciplinary actions. You make it very clear that, and Rich has already made it very clear, we will not tolerate lack of effort. Do you lose him? Do you dismiss him from the team? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you make it very clear that will not be tolerated. You put some provisions in the NIL deal, and you might even consider. I'd heard one podcaster suggest maybe sit him out for half a game next year.
That was Mountaineer Paul. That was a good take.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm starting to lose my voice again, but we're going to make it. We got 10 more minutes of this fantastic show. Thanks for joining us. We've had 60 people in chat right now. We have 53. Eric is pulling the sled, and I, as a, half-ass Santa, are sitting back here with all my holiday cheer, just saying, go, Eric, pull. And guess what? It's been very entertaining. So far, went through the guys that we think are leaving, who we might sprinkle in there with the studs that we're getting. I think this is going to be a good one.
I'm hearing a lot of talk that this class is going to be one of our best ever, which I'm like, wow, really? And the fact that we jumped 10 points from last year, that in itself is huge. But then it's been made clear to me, you listen to a lot of folks who are in the know, and they're right. We have a lot of, like, we're already ranked 38. I don't think we're done, especially on offensive line, is where I want to see us get some big news. And I'm hearing that we're not done flipping players. So it could only go up from here. And I think we've got a lot to look forward to. We're seeing how it starts, and I think we're filling in the pieces.
Do you think Rich Rod has a card trick? Like a sleight of hand.
Do you remember when he signed? And I'm again got to jump in the Wayback Machine with me, Mr. Peabody. Do you remember when he signed Jason Gwaltney and showed up at a press conference with a gallon jar of mayonnaise and a wooden spoon? I forget which reporter said that if we got Jason Gwaltney, he'd eat a jar of mayonnaise. I don't know if any of this strikes.
What about that? Yeah, that's right. But what happened with Gwaltney? He never really played.
No, it's not true. He was our starting running back for the first 3 or 4 games, and then he got hurt against, I think it was Virginia Tech. He got hurt, not Virginia Tech, Maryland. And Owen Schmidt kind of, had his moment to shine against Maryland. And then in the following game against Virginia Tech, Steve Slayton was born. So this being said, heck yes, he's got. Rich is big on pulling a card out of his sleeve. He likes to do it in dramatic fashion. He's all for that sort of stuff because it makes headlines and it elevates the program's name in the public's eyes. Yeah, stay tuned. It's just beginning.
Yeah, it's getting kind of wild. And you know what? We're going to be here, guys, every Thursday night at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Every Monday at 9 at the West Virginia Live Voice of College Football show. Eric, before we go, is there anything we forgot to mention other than we talked about recruiting? We talked about the West Virginia. Well, did we talk a little bit about the West Virginia girls program just not looking too good tonight?
No, we did not.
Getting beat by Villanova. I watched a little bit of that. It was kind of rough. But I still think Coach Kellogg is probably one of the best coaches that West Virginia has hired. I mean, period. And that they have on staff, and that includes Rich Rod. The soccer coach, our men's basketball coach, and going down the line, baseball's killing it.
It's hard to say, but yeah, they're all phenomenal coaches. Ren has done a tremendous job in bringing and elevating our program, the athletics programs overall. I mean, just all of them have been, doing great. Tonight, not so much for the women's
Now,
team.
to close it out, chat, I'm going to give you a hot take. No journalism. This is just pure Shane, finger in air. This is what I'm smelling. I'm smelling that JUCO bum, I'm not even going to mention his name, receiver, decommitted because, put it up here, Curtis D. Chris Henry Jr. is going to be delivered, gift wrapped by Pac-Man as a swaddled baby Jesus. He's going to nuzzle into Rich Rod's bosom, and he's going to make Christmas magic for the Mountaineers. I don't know. It'd be fantastic. I'd love it. I'd love to see that happen, man. Because I remember watching Chris Henry. I'm sitting in the corner of my seats. Chris Henry making those catches against Maryland and beating them in overtime, and it just makes me kind of get a little choked up, thinking his son's going to be playing as an Ohio State Buckeye. No, come on, it ain't so. But Eric, thanks for tuning in with us and being the co-host with the most. And guess what, guys? We'll see you Thursday. I mean, it's the off season, but this is when shit starts to get real. Rubber meets the road. The guys are out doing the meets and greets, the tummy tickles, the handshakes, whatever it takes. Rich Rod and company are doing it to get a butt in a seat. Get these backfields filled with good running backs. Get the line filled with big, fat, athletic dudes that can jump, run, and skip and dunk and all that shit. That's what it takes to win. And Eric, what it takes to win for us is you and me, vicious and delicious, here every week. So, guys, we're going to end this show with the great state of West Virginia. But before we put that up, we got to give, I spent 2 years in the West Virginia National Guard, and we got to give our condolences to the service members who are, that passed away, and also, the one who was in critical condition. So, but anyways, guys, take care. We're going to end it with the great state of West Virginia's flag, and you guys have a good one. We'll see you soon.